So, we have been making a bunch of videos talking about Noah Dobson, the newest Montreal Canadiens acquisition. We've spoken about the trade which sent him to Montreal. We've spoken about the trade which would have sent him to Columbus. We've spoken about his potential impact on the team, and we've gone over names that Kent Hughes did not want to send over to New York to get the trade done. We have explored every facet of the Noah Dobson trade inside and out, as the newest Summerside PEI right-handed defenseman is set to making his Canadiens debut this upcoming year. But let's go over some, I was going to say bad news, but I don't know if it's necessarily bad news. Maybe alarming news is the right way to put this together, because it's true. Dobson, 25 years old, big dude, right-handed guy, $9.5 million AAV contract for the Canadiens till 2033, and he is 2 years removed from posting up 70 points in 79 games. Yes, the 39 points in 71 games is not terrible, but it's a big step down from what he had done the prior season. I think a lot of Canadiens fans are hopeful that Dobson will continue being a 22-plus minute defenseman for the Canadiens. He'll be an anchoring force on the top pair, either with a Caden Gooley or with a Lane Hutson. Either Gooley and Dobson will be together as the ultimate, just all situations pair, or Dobson and Hutson can be together as a dual-threat, offensively capable unit. But in this video, we're going to dive into an article on the Hockey News by Stefan Rosner from a few days ago that goes over some commentary, some brutally honest commentary, about Noah Dobson from former Islanders forward Cal Clutterbuck. This article will be linked in the description down below. It was published last week, I believe. I think it was on Wednesday, August 20th, something like that. But as self-explanatorily as it gets right here, we have former Islander Cal Clutterbuck giving some very honest comments about Dobson, and I do question whether or not Canadiens fans are going to want to hear this. Stefan Rosner writes, "The Islanders parted ways with 25-year-old D-man Dobson this summer after the two sides could not agree to terms on a contract extension. Former Islanders forward Cal Clutterbuck was asked about Dobson on the Spittin' Chicklets podcast, and he was honest in his evaluation of his former teammate. Just to let you know, the interview comes from before Dobson was traded. So maybe that is a really big thing that we should pay attention to. The video is linked down below. It is the Cal Clutterbuck interview with Spittin' Chicklets, and just checking up on the date here, this podcast was from August 19th, 2025, but it was recorded before the trade actually went down. So keep that in mind with a grain of salt over here. Clutterbuck says, "I think from a GM's perspective, there's a number. I think from Noah Dobson's perspective, there's a number. And that always ends up happening is the number in the middle," Clutterbuck said. "So the number in the middle is probably like in the sevens. And you know, it's probably a term, because he's like 25 years old. I think he's capable of doing whatever he wants to do." Ultimately, Dobson priced himself out of Long Island, which led to him being dealt to the Montreal Canadiens. He took less than the reported $10 million annually, signing an 8-year deal worth $9.5. Very interesting here is that from Clutterbuck's perspective, he labeled that Dobson's number probably would have been in the sevens-ish. 9.5 is certainly a lot higher. Dobson's offensive output in 23-24, recording 70 points, was tremendous, and despite his defensive flaws that season, the offensive production outweighed them. Clutterbuck says, "One thing that I might have been a little bit gun-shy with Noah is just his ability to defend hard and just be strong enough to contain some of the best players on the other team. Like, when Barkov comes in, like, can you handle him? Can you handle below the goal line? And Dobson showed flashes of it, but he wasn't consistent. And I think this year, he actually took the mentality of he sacrificed a lot of his offensive side to really go out and show people that he could be that guy. And he really needed to be that guy. because Pelech and Pollock were both hurt for long stretches of time. Dobson had to become the guy, and here's my indicator for him. The more minutes that Dobson plays, the better he is. So, like for any D-man, some D-men are great. At 18 minutes, 15 minutes, 17 minutes, you put them up to 22 and you start to see holes or chinks in the armor. I think with Noah, the more he plays, the more he produces, and the more opportunity you give him, the better he does. So to me, that's the biggest indicator. Clutterbuck continued, Dobson is a great kid who loves the game. He's dedicated to it. He works on it. He's going to continue to get better. Whatever he ends up getting is just not going to be a bad number for him. Subtly implying here that all the numbers that were tossed out there might have been a little rich for what Noah Dobson is as an NHL defender. Clutterbuck is as honest as they come, even when discussing his close friends who still remain on the team. So, you take what he says to heart, and I think his gripe with Dobson's defensive game is exactly why the Islanders didn't feel comfortable with the asking price that came from the PEI natives' camp. But Clutterbuck made a great point that Dobson had to be the number one guy on Long Island, and unfortunately for Dobson, he just isn't that guy. With Montreal, he won't be. Lane Hutson is the guy, and they view Dobson as someone who can fit into their system and excel. It's certainly not as hard-nosed and aggressive a system as we saw on Long Island, even if they are going to open things up a bit this season under new GM Matthew Darche. But if Dobson is going to have success in Montreal, he's going to have to be stronger defensively. It doesn't matter how good you are. So, I'm very appreciative here that Cal Clutterbuck can be as brutally honest as he is, talking about how Noah Dobson had some question marks in regards to his defensive stability and whether or not his strength and defensive acumen was really at a place that it needed to be in order to be a top defenseman. It's why Clutterbuck said that he felt that the Dobson number should have been somewhere in the 7s. Furthermore, to this point, let's go out there and check out the New York Islanders subreddit and read what some of the folks on this Reddit page are saying about Dobson too. Now, lo and behold, I know there will be some comments in the comment section saying things like, hey, wait a minute, Islanders fans have been complaining about Dobson the entire time ever since he got traded. I think a lot of that does have to do with the responding discourse. Mikey Mike 01 says Montreal fans insisting that Dobson's a stud number 1D. They're in for a rude surprise. Your average Joseph replies saying if he doesn't play better than last season, that AAV is going to be an albatross around his neck up there. I've seen their fans penciling him on the PK, and I spit take. I'd have to agree. If he doesn't tighten up his defensive game, or at least have an absolute nuclear of a year offensively compared to last year, Montreal fans are going to be furious. Dobson does have the potential to be what even we wanted him to be, but damn is he frustrating defensively at his worst. I mean, to be fair, we've all seen the flashes and potential, but we've also seen defensive liability and soft plays made way too often. It's an upgrade for the Canadiens. I love how 95% of the article is Cal praising Dobson, but the headline grabs onto the one line that can be interpreted as negative. Yeah, okay, I think that's how the system works nowadays. There is the commentary about Dobson and his defensive play being questionable. Seems like this may have been taken from an older article. Rosner isn't clear, which I find is his weakness as a writer. Okay, we're not going to expand on that. It was taken from his Chicklets interview. While I'm happy with the return we got for him, I would also love to see Dobber have a career year and shut up all the haters. It's giving massive scorned ex-girlfriend vibes, and it's frankly embarrassing for the Islanders fan base. I think this comment from Little X Beast goes out there and summarizes it nicely, though. He may do better in Montreal because he won't be the guy most likely. He'll probably be second power play because they have Hutson. He may not get the top line matchups and they play a quicker game and system. Dobson seemed to do well when he got regular minutes, but he crumbled in high pressure situations a lot. So with all that in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. How do you feel about Cal Clutterbuck's response to Noah Dobson's play on the ice and his potential contract situation? Of course, we know how it turned out. Clutterbuck in the interview at that time didn't. But knowing what you know now, how do you feel about the Dobson contract and how do you think about his role on the Montreal Canadiens? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.